Hello and welcome. I am the Restless Kaiser.
And I am Jonny B. But together we are
Modelling for Advantage. New box,
to have
one each.
Some sort of addiction, mate, because these boxes keep coming.
They keep coming.
This one is Waterloo.
Because we don't know the words. Couldn't have won if you wanted to.
Why?
Well,
Why?
there's a couple of reasons. One is, as a small YouTuber, I watch a lot of other similar sized and smaller YouTubers to ideas and so forth, just involved in a community. And everyone does 28mm Napoleonics.
Yeah, it's kind of a big thing, right?
But also, like a long time ago, I can still remember. No, that's the song, isn't it? This is where my wargaming started.
Or with Napoleonic.
With Napoleonics, yeah.
If you could read the contents, because I'm not even going to attempt to read half of the units.
Is that not just words?
There are words, but they're like weird words of units.
Mate, look at, you see that? There's a lot of stuff in here.
You do get a lot.
Right, so in the back, Jonny B, we should find one softback A5 black powder 2nd edition rule book.
Bit of damage there, but yeah,
You
nonetheless.
busted it already.
It wasn't me this time.
A
That's
quick
quite
start
chunky.
guide.
Yeah, most probably.
12 plastic chasseur à cheval.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Cavalry.
that, am I?
48 plastic French infantry. 48 plastic British infantry. 24 Hanoverian infantry. 1 metal Royal Artillery 6-pounder. 1 metal and 1 British French foot commander. Bases for all of the above.
All of them.
6-sided dice.
White-sided.
They haven't declared which colour they must be in this
They're
one.
white-sided.
Reference sheets and casualty tokens. Mate, I think this set is £70 retail. There's a lot in here for that money.
That's a big old chunk of pastiche. I just want to bring
it's
to
like
your
140
attention.
miniatures.
You've not even opened the plastic on there.
No, because they want to have that. They want to see that.
But in the top,
In the top, yeah, I'm doing it.
when you get there,
I'm getting there, mate. I'm getting there.
it's kind of cool, this bit.
Is it?
So you get your books, they come, you immediately you take off the lid, you're immediately confronted by a wonderful rule book at the A5. It's quite chunky though, so that's going to be interesting.
Well, it is the standard. If it's like the bolt action one, it's the standard rule book.
Get a Waterloo doofer.
Mate, Waterloo.
But look, when you open that, see what you are confronted with immediately. After those bits, obviously.
Oh, my rule book is damaged too.
In the same place.
In the same place.
Interesting.
And that damage has not been caused by the lid of the box. That's a bit annoying. It's more than a bit annoying. I mean, it's a softback rule book, innit? Who massively
But
cares?
still.
Oh, some nice booklets.
And you get little maps and stuff. It's like, dudes were here and here, and they fought here and here.
because it's a 2-player starter set. Did you get 2? Or have I just been given 1 extra by accident?
I can only see 1 for me.
All
Unless
right,
it's stuck
okay.
to the inside.
These are nice.
Or it's at the bottom of the box.
Very nice. So this is literally telling you about like how to fight them for Waterloo.
This
what
is
the
legit.
Units are.
It was close to 2 p.m. when everything was ready. 16,000 Frenchmen rent the air with shouts of "Vive l'Empereur!"
Vive l'Empereur. That's French for
And-
long live the Emperor.
And avant.
And then a bit like with the bolt action one, you got a little sequence of play thing there. And as I said, seem to have an extra
That's
one.
pretty sweet.
That is pretty sweet. Bit disappointed with that manual, to be honest.
Yeah, that does suck. But
Yeah.
look, you get. It is in itself a reference. The topper, the box topper.
Is a quick reference sheet. Yeah.
And look at the sides.
Yeah, they do a lot of figures.
No. Look at the sides of the box topper. You get little dead dudes.
Oh, these casualty
Or something.
markers.
Yeah, look. Dead.
Oh, nice.
They're all
You
dead.
show them some stills of these. Some of them face down, some of them face up. I'm only interested in the dead French ones, obviously.
Of course.
Vive l'Empereur.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that.
All right, John. So you pull some stuff out, and we'll
Plastic.
we'll
I don't
talk
know if
about
it's
it.
in a similar composition. First thing out of the books is a baggie of metal, which tells me it is lead free and part of the Waterloo black powder starter set. Fact. It is some type of
It
cannon.
doesn't say.
It doesn't describe. It
This
doesn't
is a
say
British
French.
6-pounder, is what this is.
6-pounder.
6-pounder artillery. Right, sort of metal.
Quality goods.
Now, normally I have issues with metal cannon, obviously, in World War II, because the barrels are much longer. But
these ones, though, these are solid.
Yeah, this is a nice little bit, this. British 6-pounder.
Oh, look, he's all upset because his little...
gun carriage.
His little Wodger thing is...
Have you got 6 crew figures?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes.
6 crew for 1 cannon, and each of them with a different pose.
Yep. One has a lighty stick, I think.
Is that not a sponge?
What, him?
Has one got a match?
He's like... Psh, boom.
Oh, I don't think I have that one.
He's a bit bent.
Oh, no, there he is, yeah. Got a guy with a match.
Some dude doing the Morecambe and Wise thingy dance, you know, where they dance
One
off.
guy with an umbrella looking astonishingly camp.
But quality-wise, it's not
Nice.
bad, mate.
Yeah, that's nice. And I'm pretty sure you don't need... I mean, I don't know how Black Powder does it, but 6 crew seems like a lot of crew for 1 cannon. So you maybe got some options in there. It's nicely cast, nicely clean casted. You know, and you have to be realistic about resin and metal and so forth in a you know, once you move away from the really, really big mass-produced stuff, I think cannon crew, if it means that every cannon crewman I ever get doesn't have to be identical, I'll cope with some metal ones.
Yeah.
Because you can't store them in the same trays and stuff anyway. The issue I have with metal is usually it's not just that. It's not so much the difficulty of working with metal versus plastic.
You don't like the scale, do you?
I don't like the fact that the plastic, everything is identical. Like the rifles and the equipment and everything, it's all perfectly proportioned. Whereas in metal, they're often different. But it's also about when you mix them in, you know, when you store them.
Yeah.
You can't store plastic models and metal models in the same place.
No.
They damage. But you're not going to have your artillery crew in the same place as these anyway, are you?
No.
All right. What
Right, next
you mentioned
is,
the dice. I got teeny weeny little black dice, did you? In white dice.
I got some white-sided dice.
White-sided dice. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad that they have named these.
And then it's just a mountain of sprue.
It is a mountain of sprue. I'm glad they've named it because they all look very similar. Some have got great coats, mind you. Some have not.
Right. So you show me a...
So I've picked up these greatcoat dudes, and it says late French line infantry.
Late French,
1812
Napoleonic late French line infantry, 1812 to 1815. All right, so immediately on looking at this, I love this.
You liking it?
I love it. This is a wargaming model kit, not a modeller's model kit.
Literally, but look, stick a head on and they have
Stick a head and a haversack. Yeah,
and they're done.
Absolutely. So you've got his ammo pouch and his bedroll or whatever. It's all moulded together in one piece. Slap it on. But looking at it, each of these 6 sculpts are slightly different.
Yeah, there is different movement in there. Some have got left foot forward. Some
they're
have got right
all
foot forward,
marching,
but they're all
but they're all slightly differently marching. So between that and the fact that you've got, what have you got, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've got 11 heads to choose from here. You got a lot of variety, and I think 24 figure regiments is fairly standard
for what it is. Yeah, that's not bad. That
these are in great coats though. There's 2 reasons for troops wearing great coats, and I suspect these are with reason 2. Reason 1 is because it's blooming cold, mate.
Yes, it does get cold.
It gets cold, so you issue your troops with great coats so that they don't get cold in the autumn and the winter. But only a moron fights a war in the winter anyway.
Sounds like my sort of tactic.
The other reason for issuing troops with great coats is because it's cheaper than issuing them all with proper uniforms. So you'll often find hastily assembled units. A great coat can give the appearance of a uniform.
Right, so underneath they're all wearing all sorts
Underneath
of
they might be
mishmash.
wearing a gym jams, anything. Yeah, exactly. So you'll often find great coats actually representing hastily recruited units. And this is the 100 days. Napoleon has raised a new army, Armée du Nord, to invade Holland and Belgium to fight the Anglo-Prussian armies there. And most of this army is brand new, trained on the march.
Oh, wow.
Now, many of them will have been veterans from before.
Okay, but out of the loop still.
Yeah, so it could be a bit of that. So presumably there's quite a few sprues of this Napoleonic French in greatcoat.
Oh, yeah.
Are all the Napoleonic French
8.
in the greatcoat?
I've got 8 sprues there. I'm not sure that they are, you know. Unless there's more hidden underneath. But greatcoat wise,
So
that's
8,
as far as we've got. 8 sprues of 6
sixes.
are an amount.
Yeah.
Mathematically. Or is that all of them? I don't know.
Is that all of them? 8 times 6 is 48, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's all of them. So all the French
wow.
infantry in this kit are in greatcoats. So then there should be 2 more types of infantry then in here. So I look through. One of them being...
The next one I'm picking out is the Hanoverian line infantry.
You're going for the Hanoverian line...
That's the next in my...
infantry.
In my little doofo.
Okay. So I haven't got to them yet, but I'm going at it.
Sorry.
I'm going at it. No, that's fine.
2,
I'll get there.
3,
So there's probably
4,
4 of them.
5.
Hanoverian line infantry. 4 sprues of this, so that's your regiment of 24.
I've got 5 here.
Have you? They look a lot like the British ones at first glance.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5.
Hanoverian line infantry.
Bonus.
I have 5 then. I have 5.
Either I got a bonus sprue or you've been shortchanged.
No, I've got 5 as well. Actually, now I come to look at them.
Aren't they cool?
Yeah. Well,
Slightly different.
Oh, there's only 5 on a sprue, mate, not 6.
That is
French ones
also
had 6.
a very...
That is
yeah,
also
that is a good observation.
true.
Yeah.
So there's an extra Hanoverian, not an extra sprue. There's 25 dudes of 24 required to make a regiment. So getting these, you've got 5 dudes on a sprue. You got your backpacks and your what's that? Is that his flask and his ammo pouch?
Yeah.
On there, nice. And then they've got these like baker's hats.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
That's the uniform for the Hanoverians. So Hanover, then I believe. Do you any ideas, John, why Hanoverians will be fighting with the British?
Shits and giggles, mate.
They're just in it for the game, mate. They're just like well up for it.
Why are they rocking it?
Because our royal family is Hanoverian.
Of course, I knew that.
So they're relative. I'm not sure if they were also the Dukes of Hanover at the same time, but there's probably more that it was an immediate relative, like a brother or a cousin or something.
Cousin,
but there's an extremely close relationship between Britain and Hanover, certainly in this period.
There's ties there.
Yeah, but also the German states had been suppressed by Napoleon and fused into the Confederation of the Rhine, and a new French buffer state under the governance of, I think, Westphalia. One of them is technically the emperor, I think. Might be one of the German states, but really they're just Napoleon's stooges.
Yeah, okay.
Whether they want to be or not. So they're wanting to fight. They're here to fight for their independence, really.
Freedom!
But Wellington's army at Waterloo is less than 50% British. It's Dutch, it's Belgian, it's Nassau, it's Hanoverian, it's all kinds of... Every little North European state that doesn't want to go back under the yoke of Napoleon has fallen in with the British.
Handy.
So that's your Hanoverians in there, so they're similar. And then we've got these British ones, who are also 5 sprues, 5 dudes to a sprue, which is why we've got more sprues. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's 50 Britishers.
Say, you don't want these haversacks, do you?
You've seen these before, haven't you, John?
I've seen these before. I did buy a box of British Line solely so I can steal their backpacks.
Steal the backpacks.
And make some Praetorians for 40k.
Praetorians for 40k.
I was going to try and use
Look at these. Look at these shakos, though, mate.
Shako!
So the point about the, you know, why they wear these huge bits of headgear, is genuinely to make them look taller.
That's
and like British Grenadier, you know, like if you go to Horse Guards Parade, they're wearing bearskins. Is to make them look bigger.
Intimidation tactic.
Yeah.
Not easy target.
Yeah, but from half a mile away on a battlefield, when people started doing it, they looked bigger than you from a distance. But then everyone was doing it, so does it really work anymore?
Flavours
So, but if we don't do
hat.
it, we look like midgets.
I'd rather do that.
And I think it's
more
really, it's only when we
terrifying?
got into helmets is when they stopped. Massive heads. So again, you got 5 nice sculpts. Again, they're all marching. So as to say anything about these, and there are other options, other companies, other sculpts. Every model I've seen here is marching.
Yes, there's no like one sprue firing, one sprue.
No, which is a little bit of a shame. But I understand that there's a lot of information out there if you want to kit bash well, not so much kit bash. You can't kit bash this model.
No, you cannot kit bash that model.
Well, not without a saw.
no. Even then, I think you'd struggle to, and it would not be worth the time and effort to get those arms off.
But look at the high-waisters though, John. Check out those British riflemen.
I love it.
Pull it right up, sir.
Proper Simon Cowell's, mate.
Proper Simon Cowell pants. Yeah, that's the way to. That's how real men wear their pants.
Fact.
Yeah.
But that's cool. You get a whole bunch of the old British line there.
Whole bunch of the old. There are not
I
6
don't
cannon
think
crew,
it's-
are there,
I don't
John?
think
We
it's
read
bad.
the box.
What?
As well as a metal cannon and crew. There's
Yeah.
one British foot officer and one French foot
Which
officer.
I'm gonna
which
guess
are
is the
be in this
dude with
bag.
the umbrella.
The dude with the umbrella, etc. Yeah, because there's just a few other bits of plastic in here to have a look
okay.
at. Yeah, I was thinking 6 was too many, and like what's with this umbrella guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just in case.
He's a British officer, isn't he? So, but that also suggests we've got 2 kits, but it's not a random British and French officer. Maybe it's the same one every time. And actually, the way stuff is moulded,
would they have more
these may be
available?
all part of the same mould.
This might be one spin on the old beef machine.
Yeah. So if you bought 2, you end up with exactly the same French and British officer every
Yeah,
time.
there's
is what
no
I mean.
difference there.
And
Oh yeah,
I'm
that
guessing
is
you probably
quite
do,
significantly.
yeah.
I'm guessing the dude with that hat is the old
Yeah, I've got
Frenchie,
one of them, yeah.
the Français.
Packed by Mirella. Thank you, Mirella. So the other plastic sprue we've got in here,
Rough Riders!
are the chasseurs à cheval. So these are Napoleonic French light cavalry. I'm a bit confused about this,
Why?
to be honest. I mean, it's great that they've provided some variety in it. So one side's got a cannon, one side doesn't. One side's got more infantry than the other. The French side has got some cavalry in it. But light cavalry is not shock cavalry. There are 3-ish grades of cavalry in the Napoleonic Wars. There's light cavalry.
And what? Yeah.
There's medium cavalry, which is
Right.
dragoons, which are usually, well, they're not armoured. They're not wearing cuirasses generally.
Okay.
But they've usually got, and they might have a light cavalry sabre, but they're riding a heavy horse and it's a big dude or whatever. But dragoons are medium cavalry. And then there's your heavy cavalry, which is a shock cavalry, which would be your cuirassiers or just heavy
They're the ones that
cavalry.
do the proper charging. What? So what's the purpose of what's the purpose
well,
of light
it's not
cavalry
that
in
he
the
doesn't have
Napoleonic?
a battlefield role. It's just that this is mainly, it's got much more of a strategic role, light cavalry, and you do have more light cavalry in an army than you have heavy cavalry.
Right.
But this has got to screen, it's got to scout, it's got to guard flanks, all of those kind of things. And it doesn't mean it doesn't get used in the battlefield, but this is not what goes ploughing into the front of formed infantry. That's not what this is for.
No.
You know, so if you're going to include a cavalry unit, and it's also not, there's lots of different types of light cavalry. There's hussars and there's chasseurs, and they've got different uniforms and so forth. But probably not different roles, but your lancers are light cavalry.
Yeah.
But your medium cavalry is all dragoons, and everybody's got loads of them. And it's the most common type of cavalry in everybody's army is dragoons, medium cavalry. I would have included dragoons. Because they do
Most common,
they're multi-role
multi-role.
cavalry, yeah. Traditionally, dragoons are mounted infantry, and certainly if you go back into the 100 years before this, that's the role they fulfilled. But by this period, they don't fight on foot. They did a little bit
Was
in
that the
Spain.
purpose then? It's just the manoeuvrability, then they dismount and fight.
That was how dragoons originally operated, yeah. But by the Napoleonic period, the dude is better off staying on his horse, firing once from the hip, and then trying to chase the other guy down. What's often forgotten about the Napoleonic Wars is how we know about the great campaigns, and we tend to think of these armies as getting better and getting more experienced. What we forget is how massive these armies are compared to the generations before.
Yeah.
That actually most of it is brand new.
Just
The average quality of troops in Napoleonic armies, like the American Civil War, is really quite low because they need this huge manpower turnover of these increasingly growing armies. And so cavalry cannot break a formed infantry square in the Napoleonic period. There's a couple of examples.
Right.
So that weird happens, like a horse falls into the square, thus breaking
Opens
it.
up, makes a hole.
Because the horse won't charge a wall of spears, which is what a musket with a bayonet in the end is.
Yeah.
Yeah? A
Pretty
wall of
much.
spears.
Yep.
Horses are not suicidal, no matter how well you train them. But if there's a hole, they'll go to it, and if you can get enough momentum, the might not be able to stop itself. So there's all that. There's all that kind of thing. But a lot of the time, the reason why cavalry is going to be effective at charging an infantry unit is because it's going to fail to form square, and it's going to break. And as they're all running away, then these guys are going to chop them up real good.
With the stabbers.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't need that. You don't need impact because you're mostly stabbing a man who's running away from you. And these are quite
sounds legit. They're good at that, are they?
Yeah. What else we got in here then, John?
Unfortunately, guys, the rest is just big, fat, square bases.
These are heavy.
Oh, you got like little traction dimples on the underneath.
Oh,
what's that all about?
You got grippers. Well, that's so it'll tear up your base as you're going along, right? Now, so what size?
These would make really good armor plates.
You can make a stomper out of it or something.
Yeah, man.
John. Right, let's just. Is this? Oh, what is this about?
What?
They're 50 by 50. Oh, that's for your cavalry, and these are 40 by 40. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm there. Okay. I'm there. Right.
So what are you saying? These big fat squares are for cavalry, 2 apiece. Is that what you're saying?
These bigger fat squares, John. One of them slightly different.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. So if I have an issue with historical gaming, it's basing and basing conventions.
Oh, these ones.
Warlord, because of its history, perhaps, is essentially running on an old GW basing size, where a 28mm miniature is going on a 20 by 20 base,
yeah,
and a cavalryman is going on a 50 by 25 base.
Boom.
But you're mounting them cavalry in pairs, you're mounting the infantry in 4s. Although you can do it how you wish. And the reason why I like that is because that's going to work for many other systems too. And that's important to me.
Okay.
I've rebased armies for
yeah.
systems, and I really dislike having to do it. You know, it's just a lot of work, and I don't really see why you need to, if that makes sense. You know, if you're writing a new rule system, why are you not adopting one of the conventional basic systems?
Just to be unique, maybe, just to try and make it.
Yeah, but as a modeler and a gamer,
you don't want that. You want ideally this
all.
army could be used with any of those systems,
especially when you're talking about something like 28mm Napoleonic.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna have to paint a hell of a lot to make a viable force, and to then have to do that again.
There's over 140 models in this starter box.
Yes. And this is
a starter
an introduction.
Yeah, and if there's anything to say about Napoleonics, and this is why I haven't really started yet, is this is not about playing with 20 miniatures at a time.
This is like
huge time investment, and they need to look good.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play Napoleonics, you want to see that red and white hill. You know, that ridge line
fat blocks of
British, yeah, and you want to see that French blue from a distance, and the white really make it pop. The different coloured pom poms on the shakos for the different companies within each battalion.
That's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever going to really get into it, but
you can get really grognardy about it.
Proper,
yeah.
I know with Brush and Quill, he's normally painting up a few.
Yeah, he's doing some Bavarians or something at the moment.
Yeah, and he's talking about it. There's just slight differences.
Each base is slightly different.
The trim of the doofer.
Yeah. Craziness, really go deep. But people get into that. You know, in the same way as a Warhammer, people get into their Blood Angels versus their Space Wolves, or maybe they're this great company or a particular section within it.
Yeah, that can be
except this is real historical armies where there were hundreds of regiments, all of which are different coloured collars, cuffs and epaulets to denote the different regiments.
Yeah.
You can really go down a rabbit hole with this stuff.
That's part of the draw, is it not, maybe, for some of the Napoleonic players to be able to field some of their favourite units?
Absolutely. So, I mean, you can't dispute the value of this. Again, this is less than 50p a model, including rules. It's cracking. I'm not sure about having a single foot. I mean, I think he's not an army commander. He needs to go on a base with a regiment or something.
Right.
Something like that.
He's not your.
And
your
even
big
then,
man.
I'm not sure. I quite like mounted colonels. And that's one of the reasons why I like multi-basing. So I don't necessarily have 4 guys on one of these bases. On one of these bases, I've got a colonel and a drummer.
Oh yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah.
But it still goes in. I think it just really, again, it makes the unit pop. So, what do you think might be missing from this, John? It might say if you had time to read this booklet, but I doubt it.
I don't.
Oh yes. The clue is on the front page.
And it says words.
It says words, yeah.
What words does it say?
It says who actually won the Battle of Waterloo.
Oh, cool.
Who won the Battle of Waterloo, John?
ABBA.
ABBA won Waterloo.
So they made a song.
Napoleon couldn't have won if he wanted to.
No,
which is true because I think he really did want to, and he didn't win.
This is my limited understanding of it.
Okay.
I think it might not even be this battle. Was he not kicking our asses? And then some Prussian dudes come over the ridge line.
Bingo.
And they were like, oh, sugar. But we were getting battered, right?
Battle goes back and forth during the day, but we're on our last legs. Napoleon's committed most of his reserves, but there's a whole other army involved in this campaign, the Prussian army. And what's been happening while Wellington has been fighting the French at Waterloo, a Prussian army which was beaten by Napoleon a couple of days before at a place called Ligny has fallen back, and a third of Napoleon's army is following it.
Okay.
But they can't find it.
Okay.
And then they end up fighting this rearguard action. I think it's at Wavre. So there's a Prussian rearguard fighting Napoleon's other wing, while the rest of the Prussian army is moving across. And fundamentally what happens is the Prussians recognise that the battle to decide the campaign is happening over there, and we need to get there. Whereas Napoleon, Marshal Grouchy, who's commanding his force, he hears the battle is going on. They can hear the cannon, famously in the sound of the guns. That's where that phrase comes from, march to the sound of the guns. Grouchy fails to do that. But Grouchy believes that it is his job, as dictated by the Emperor, to find and pursue the Prussians.
Okay, so
he's doing what he believes is his job.
That's his order.
He's like, I've got to stop them from taking part. But what he doesn't realise is they're fighting him at one end of a long line, while the bulk of their army, and you can see on this map here, the Prussians, they don't start arriving until like the French see them at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, they're over there.
They come in. The Prussians wear black uniforms, the French wear blue uniforms.
So it's quite
There's
visible.
a like, are they French, are they Prussian? Because whichever one they are, that's going to win the battle.
Whoa.
So there's this period in the late afternoon where nobody's sure. But then when they can hear the drums and the music and they can see the uniforms, Napoleon knows the game is up. And that's why there's this huge push to try and drive Wellington off the field so that he can swing round and turn.
And face the Prussian.
And part of the Imperial Guard. So we know the Imperial Guard was sent, the Old Guard was sent into the centre of the battle to try and break the British position around, I think it's La Haye-Saint.
Yeah, La Haye-Saint.
These are old memories, man.
This is like proper, like...
proper wars.
This is cool.
That's how it was done. So the French Imperial Guard make their attack there to try and break the centre point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Napoleon's desperate. I've got to win now or we'll lose. And the Old Guard are forced back. But actually, for much of the afternoon, the Imperial Guard as a corps is massive. There's a young guard and a middle guard, and it's the size of a couple of other corps in good times, with a lot more cannon and a lot better cannon and a lot of its own cavalry. And they've actually been fighting a delaying action on the eastern edge of the battlefield for most of the afternoon and trying to keep the rest of the French army ignorant of what's going on. Once they know the Prussians are going to slam into their flank before bedtime, the army will know the game's up. And that's essentially what happens. As the Prussians start to appear on the field, Wellington isn't beaten at that point, he's very nearly, and then the French army just starts to collapse.
Wow. So a few different decisions could have changed.
Yeah, and that's what makes the study of history really interesting, isn't it? Look, anything I just told you could be untrue because these are 25-year-old memories. Yeah,
but it's still kind of cool.
Of a battle. You know, that's like a layman's narrative of what happened.
Yeah, man.
Rather than, especially around like the timings and the details. I'm probably off.
What is cool is that they do actually describe a bit of what's going on.
A bit of what's going on there, yeah.
The battle, which is nice. It gives you a bit of a flavour for it.
So what I would want if I was fighting Waterloo, though, or if I was
you
fighting,
said what's missing.
Yeah, so what's missing? So the Prussians are missing.
The Prussians are missing.
The Prussians are missing. They didn't fight the most of the day, but they were probably the bit that was decisive. You can argue about that, but that Waterloo is a famous battle, but actually the campaign, the 100 days campaign that leads up to this, it all happens in a very short space of time. Napoleon is fighting against the Prussian and the British army, and there are several battles over a period of a few weeks, which culminate and finish here. But actually, before Waterloo, it looked like Napoleon was about to. He had beaten the Prussians, and as far as he knew,
that's it.
They were going back to Germany.
That's fine. They're not going to be coming back.
As far as he knew, they were going east.
Send what's
but
his
they
face?
looped back round. Blucher. Yeah, and he's like 80 or something. He had several horses shot from under him during the course of the Waterloo campaigns and before, and he just wanted to kill Frenchmen. He just hated them. He was a drunkard and a womanizer.
Angry.
But he injected in a defeated Prussia, because Prussia was 50 years before that. Prussia is Frederick the Great. It is the superpower of continental Europe.
Wow.
And Napoleon just smashes that legacy, all of their army, their tradition, their glory, their prestige,
to the point where
gone.
They shouldn't really
and he
want to fight
emasculates
anymore.
Prussia. Gosh, these people are going to get very bored with this kind of waffle.
Oh,
But
well,
Blucher
you know,
comes
the ones
along,
that are interested in it are...
the ones that are still here.
Yeah.
But Blucher comes along and he's just a grizzled fighting soldier.
He doesn't care. He just
And
wants
that's
to
what
beat.
they need. That people are expecting to lose against Napoleon, and Blucher doesn't care about losing to Napoleon. What he knows is there's a lot more allies than there are Napoleon, and you just need to get stuck into him because he hasn't got enough manpower for that. And that's how they won the 1813 campaign, and that is how they win the Waterloo campaign. Guys,
Wow.
This is fantastic box set. I think it's less than 50p a figure. Great place
what's
to
the
start.
price? What's the price point
I
on it?
think it's 70 at retail. If you want one, you can buy one from us on
You're
the
gonna stock
website.
this?
We've got one, yeah, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Not these ones we've opened.
No.
we
Yeah, nice fresh
we
one.
got legit ones. I am not promising that we're going to play this because I can't.
Oh.
I look at this.
It would be a dream of yours to be able to do it.
This is going to be my palette cleanser at some point. This is going to sit in a box every now and then, paint a stand.
Yeah, touch one.
Or if I can find the money, I'll pay somebody else to paint it. But I don't think I'm going to find that kind of money anytime soon.
Well, you know.
Not when I haven't paid for the house.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah, but look, I think it's great value. We've not even put these models together for you.
No.
No,
There's nothing
I
to
mean,
show there.
there's a lot of reviews of this kind of
There's
stuff
not
out there,
much
really.
to talk about, mate. As we've already established, it's a
stick
gaming head
kit.
on,
Yeah.
stick the backpack on, you're done,
That's it.
and then onto a base.
Absolutely
Jobs are good.
it.
So really good. Smash it.
Don't look forward to seeing some 28mm Napoleonics anytime soon. If you do this stuff, let us know how you feel about it. I'd like to talk about Napoleonic Wars. I'd
Yeah.
like to play some.
Yeah, do it.
I don't know when I'm going to find time to play these.
Time is a struggle at
There's
the moment.
just not enough, is there? But mate, thank you for watching.
Yeah, cheers guys. See you later.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content, like the video, maybe leave us a comment. Thank you.